Sasstastic Life with hosts Trisha Rivas and Wendy Fredrigo.
Hello! We're back.
That hello sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh.
Hello!
My dad does the most perfect Mrs. Doubtfire.
Your dad is definitely sasstastic for sure.
Yes.
So we are back, and today we want to talk about perfectionism. Because I sat and kind of went through our first few episodes and I was worried about lighting. I mean, here we are, we have shadows, we have the sun in our face, but guess what? It doesn't matter. Like,
No.
we have been talking about doing this for a long time and we just had to start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, waiting for things to be perfect, it'll never happen. So, here we are. Yes, we have some shadows.
Yes.
But we're doing it.
We are doing it. I think, too, what's been fun for us is the research part, and getting other people's opinions. And you need to have that. You do. I mean, especially when you're starting in the infancy stages of everything. But then you and I finally just looked at each other this morning and it's like, you know what? Our superpowers are you and I. We're our own person. That's what makes us the super people.
Super women.
Exactly. Nobody else is like us.
Yes.
And that's what makes it different. And you and I, yes, we're not always scripted. And that is okay. That is okay. And I think that's what's great is that that's when you and I start to get into those deep conversations, not only with each other, but with other people too. And we have that meat of those conversations and the laughs and the tears. And I mean, I wish people could just see us laughing even before these episodes with you and I and Jason. I mean, sometimes I'm like, I need to reapply my makeup because I have tears of laughter. My makeup is off and my lipstick is all off too because I've laughed so much. That's the nitty-gritty of these podcasts that we want to put out into the world.
We don't have to try to do it like other people.
No.
No. I was trying to get organized. That's just not who we are. We are unscripted people, and that's the point. We don't want this to be perfect.
No.
Even though it's very well produced.
It is. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, we just get to show up and be us. We want, I mean, everybody has their own viewing styles. Some people really do like watching videos.
Yes.
I would assume more people like doing podcasts because they can do it when they're out walking or in the car. So our hope is that people just feel like we're driving in the car with them, just having like on a road trip, having like conversation.
Exactly. Or like I said, having to call your best friend at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with something that you just have to get off your mind and that you need to just talk to. Those are the type of conversations that we want to have with people.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So perfectionism. Is that something, we call ourselves women of action, which I think a lot of women of action struggle with perfectionism.
Yeah.
So when do you feel like you first started really noticing perfectionism? Like,
as soon as I came out of the womb. My mom will tell you that I actually came running out of
sprinting out
of the canal. Demanding perfectionism.
You push the doctor out of the way. Get the F out of my way.
Exactly. Let me show you how to cut this umbilical cord off of myself. Hand me those damn scissors.
That's when Trisha first had scissors in her hand.
Exactly. I should have known then.
Yeah.
No, actually, in all seriousness, though, it is something that I have struggled with my whole life. Honestly. How about you?
I don't think I knew it at the time, but like looking back, I definitely struggle with like, it's either if it's not perfect, then screw it. So I've definitely battled that like all or nothing thing.
Yeah.
Like if I can't work out 6 days a week, I'm going to do nothing. If I can't eat perfectly healthy 7 days a week, I give up and go for the ice cream. So it's like, I love the phrase progress over perfection. And I even felt it coming up with this. Like I'm wanting to have everything line up and be perfect. And it's like, just getting started. Most people don't start.
No, they don't. They don't because they need everything to be perfect. I do have to say though, and you and I, again, we've talked about this. It's something that I have really worked on since COVID because nothing has been perfect. Nothing has been perfect. Nothing has went that was in my 3 to 5 year plan. Nothing. You know what I mean? There's been amazing things that have happened out of it, but could you imagine if I would have stayed in that place of what I was prior of perfectionism? One day I wouldn't have gotten out of bed. Literally, I wouldn't have. I would be crying under a rock someplace. I probably would have given up on Trixie's, given up on certain type of relationships, but given up on myself, honestly. And there were times that I wanted to.
We talked a lot during the pandemic. You were one of the people that got me through.
Vice versa.
And you had to deal with a lot. For me at the time, I had my own business, so I didn't have that pressure.
Yeah.
But you had employees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had customers that,
Yeah.
Ooh, I honestly, I don't even like talking about that time, but
No.
just that threw a monkey wrench in stuff for everyone.
It did.
So I feel like that perfectionism kind of thing, I think for a while went away because people were just excited to be back doing things.
Yes.
And they just wanted to start.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel like perfectionism got in your way, like as a teenager?
Well, for me, excuse me, it was more, having Colton so young. I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
That type of mentality. So I know that was a huge part of perfectionism for me. Huge part. And I'm the firstborn. And I do think some of that has a lot to do with it also. What about you?
Like with grades.
Oh, sure.
I remember, I don't know if I was as concerned in high school, but like I remember in college, I would sit and figure, okay, if I get a C on this test, my grade point will then be this. Like I was just so obsessed about my grade point.
Yeah. Yeah. C's get degrees.
Right? Joke's on me. I didn't finish college.
You went on to be a hairstylist is what you were meant to do,
I tell you what, with social media and everything, like I think that is part of the problem.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Compare and despair.
Yes.
And that everything appears perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I had read an article yesterday, and I wish I could remember who it was that wrote it, but they talked about we shouldn't even have social media like until a certain point in our age because we can't even handle it. Because
I don't think adults can handle it.
Exactly, because we can't handle it. Social media is a huge part of that, Wendy. A huge part. I agree. Back in the day, with us three growing up, it was more movies and seeing the perfect model and their body and their magazine and, in the magazines and on the movie screens. This generation, they have all of that, but on top of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and, Snapchat. Hell, what is there now? There's something probably that just popped up this morning.
Probably.
You know what I mean? So bless them. They even have to deal with more than that than what we ever did and what we ever did.
So if you think of someone who's thinking about starting a business, what advice would you give them about perfectionism?
You are not going to be for everybody. You're not. Your business is not going to be for everybody. You are not going to be for everybody. And what I mean by that is that not even employees, not everybody's going to want to work for you. They might want, come and work for you and then find out that it's not a good fit. And someone that is a recovering perfectionist, because it is really something that I have worked on. That can be hard and it can be triggering and it can make you take a step back. And if you're not aware of it, you can go down that rabbit hole again. You really can. Shit is going to happen and it's going to happen to you. And how you handle it is what makes the difference.
I think talking about things not being perfect is like permission for other people. It's so important.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and how many times have we had aspiring business owners, come up and say and compliment us almost in the way of you're perfect. Okay.
No one's ever said that to me.
Okay. It must just be me.
I think it's just
Yes,
you.
it just must be me. But I always laugh and I always tell them thank you because I am grateful for that. But I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you the stupid shit that I have done and learn from my mistakes because that's how I've evolved. Let me share that with you. Like, don't make the same mistakes I have. Learn from me in that aspect. But you know what I love about that too, though, Wendy? It's giving you permission in the recovery of that. Honestly, it is. It is. And just putting it out there, it's almost like just a sigh of relief. Like, oh my gosh, my body can relax because I don't have a show to put on.
You know what I think about all the time is, we want other people to glean from our wisdom or mistakes that we've made, our children, whatever.
Yeah.
But we have to make those mistakes ourselves.
Yeah.
I often think if I could go back and talk to my younger self, would she have even listened? She would have been like, that's lady's old. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Exactly.
Like, would I even have listened?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I would have. I don't know. I'm just because I'm very stubborn. You know what I mean? I don't know if I would have listened.
I know. So that's why I think it's important to show that things aren't perfect and to talk about that. That permission slip to me is a huge thing. Like, it's not going to be perfect.
No. Yeah. And I think it's great for our kids. It's great for our kids. It's great for our family, our significant others. It is. And it makes you approachable. We all know that person that, one, they're never wrong. They think everything is perfect, or that's what it seems like. And do you find them approachable? I mean, do you want to be in that space with that type of person? I know I don't. And I know there have been times in my life that I have been that person.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, that's icky. That's disgusting. Yeah. I don't want to be that person.
So we're here to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did ask Jason and Wendy earlier if I could do my podcast portion from the bathtub. And they told me that was inappropriate. And it would probably be frowned upon.
That's probably for another podcast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like After Dark podcast.
Oh,
I suppose if we had enough bubbles in the tub, it'd be okay. We might get flagged.
Celeste Barber would do it.
She totally would. For those who don't know who Celeste Barber is, please go to her Instagram. Like, it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Well, I have to tell you, I could not imagine being on this non-perfect journey with anybody else but you and our Mr. Producer, sincerely. And I truly mean that. And I'm happy that we're just fucking doing it. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. And we're going to do it our way.
Yes.
We're going to do it our way. That feels good to us.
We are. Yeah. And speaking of that, you have your own flair. I have my own flair.
Yes.
And we're super excited because Harlow and James is a local store. They specialize in plus size clothes because just because we have more curves doesn't mean we want to wear ugly clothes.
No.
So we love shopping there and we've been big supporters of them. So they were kind enough to loan us some clothes, but I think Trisha and I are realizing that we're probably just going to buy them anyway. So
yeah. Well, I think we said to Kelly when we left, we're like, we'll probably just give you a call over the weekend with our credit card information. Or I think I said I would send a pigeon with my cash.
Yes, because Trisha loves technology. So she's going to send her carrier pigeon with some straight up like gold coins or something. Anyway, this sweater is from there and I love it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to share all of our different clothing.
Yes.
Yeah. And other partnerships. Yes. We're so excited about that and dreaming big. I think what people are going to love about this podcast too, Wendy, is that we're going to dream big. Yeah. And we want people to follow us with that dream and manifesting it and praying about it and putting it out into the world.
Yes. So. I've been joking lately, but I'm kind of serious. I'm not going to speak for you because I know I'm older than you.
Yes.
But I'm of that age where, pants peeing, unfortunately, is part of my daily life. So the joke has been, maybe Poise Pass will sponsor us. Hashtag, oops. Hashtag, pee my pants.
I wish that people could see Jason's face right now. I'm not even going to look over there because
I know, I'm not either.
I know
I'm not
that
looking.
I will start laughing my ass off.
He has to hear about it on a daily. Daily.
He does. Again, we're dreaming big with
We're
those
dreaming
sponsors
big.
locally and just all over the world.
Hashtag this is 50.
Exactly. I love it. Well, you are older than me though, so I
I
still
know.
have a couple years,
I know.
but that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So what else do you want to tell our listeners about perfectionism? Like how can they, it's easy for us to sit and laugh and talk about it,
Mhm.
but when you feel that creeping up,
Yeah.
when you feel yourself, that perfectionism coming in, how do you get into action?
Mhm. For me, it's journaling. It's taking a deep breath, taking a step back. Also recognizing things that trigger me. Honestly, that put me in situations where I feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to put on this show. I have to look a certain way, talk a certain way, and it's just like, no.
So you can can you physically feel it in your body?
Yes. Can you?
Yes. So earlier we were trying to have like, this is the cadence of the show. These are the questions. And I was trying to be so left brain and we just looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
I am not a scripted person. So whenever I get that way, I think it's that old voice, like it has to be perfect and you have to make sure everyone likes you and it has to look a certain way. And then it's just, my body is like, that's not who you are.
No.
So
No.
I think just listening to that or listening to our gut.
And Wendy, again, as entrepreneurs, you know that nothing is perfect. You learn from the things that are non-perfect. That is where the growth happens, is in the mistakes and the things that are not perfect.
Yeah.
That is where the growth and the aha moments come. And you have to lean into those. You have to lean into those and recognize them.
So what do you think is one of your biggest mistakes that you've made as a business owner in the salon world? But that you're glad you made?
Growing too quickly. And again, perfectionism and ego. That and I know that. And I love to talk about that and recognize that. That, again, that feeling like I had something to prove and growing quickly is not always the best. What about you?
But I think that what I want to celebrate is that you realized it.
Yeah.
And you closed a location. Like,
yeah.
You didn't hang on to that ego and that pride and keep it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd say my biggest mistake is just feeling like when I was going through my coaching training, like I have to take this course and I have to get this certification. I have to take this, like thinking I had to collect all these things to prove that I was good enough.
Yeah. That you were worthy
or ready to launch. I spent too much time in that. So just taking that time and thinking like, what are the things that light me up? What are the things that I can do and I'm in the zone and I don't even think about it? Like you doing that and honoring that will make it perfect for you.
Yes.
Not for other people.
Yeah. I love that.
Mic drop. Actually, I almost did drop this mic earlier. That's why Mr. Producer doesn't let me touch them. True. So we want to encourage people to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And, as far as this episode goes, we would love for people to comment.
Yes.
And let us know like what they've learned from perfectionism and why we need to just kick it to the curb.
Yes.
Just have progress.
Yeah.
Like I think the words to sum up today are just progress and start.
Yeah. And start.
So start.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Is it time for me to grab our clapboard?
It is.
Woo. That's a wrap, folks.
Your Sasstastic Life is produced by Apex VO. Go to apexvo.com. That's APEXXVO.